Hey, what's up YouTube? In this video, I'm going to show you how to change what is called the V-belt or the drive belt. See, the drive belt clearly works. I don't have very much room. It's burning rubber now, boys. Jesus. Holy shit. God dang it, Bobby. On a Cub Cadet lawnmower. This is gonna work on a ton of different Cub Cadet makes and models. They make 1,000 different kinds of makes and models of these mowers, and even for some other brand mowers that are very similar, that have this kosher engine in them. And a lot of mowers are basically the same, if that makes sense. So even if you're not working on a Cub Cadet, it's still probably going to be pretty similar. But this is a Cub Cadet, and it is a 7000 series, 24 horsepower, 725 cc's, and it is a RZT. And there's, gosh, I forget the exact name of them, but one of them's called like a Z-Force, and then a couple other, like 4 or 5 Cub Cadet models that are all very similar. So even if yours isn't an RZT, yours is still probably very similar. Now, to change this belt, this is the old one that came off of there, and I'm going to show you how to, change the whole thing completely. But as you can see, it got a big nick in it somehow, and then the belt actually did not completely break, but the belt did come off the pulley, and it has deals that go around the whole around each one of the pulleys, like this deal right here, and then on the back pulleys it has like screws or bolts that go down. So the belt's not supposed to be able to come off, but I guess it got a nick in it, and then that's how it came off. Now this was right at the end of last season, ironically enough, right before winter. So I was able to go ahead and just, take this off because it broke down right in my yard. And my lawn's pretty big, really big actually. So I was able to take some of this stuff off and just get the belt back on and, finish mowing. But I knew that with this big nick in it, the belt would either come off again or the belt was going to completely break eventually or very soon. So that's why I decided to go ahead and put on a whole new belt. Now, when you put on a whole new belt, since I'd already, got it back on the pulley and was kind of familiar with it, I thought that this would be a very, simple, straightforward job. It is a lot harder than what you think, and really a royal pain in the ass, I must say. Now, I've got this thing, the back wheels, up on my lawnmower lift here, and that, if you have a lawnmower lift, that is going to make this job like 10 times easier than trying to lay underneath it, because there's not very much space. You can't really see. It makes it very, very difficult, trust me, like even more difficult than it already is. Now, what makes this so difficult is the drive belt is the belt that basically, turns your wheels. And then you have this bottom belt right here that actually spins the blades on the mower deck that cuts your grass. But this is the belt that actually drives your rear wheels, to move your mower forward or backwards. So since it's this top belt, it hooks around a bunch of different things. So you got to take a bunch of different stuff off to get the belt around certain things so it will go on. Like you have to take off this bottom belt and it might not be a bad idea to go ahead and replace that while you're servicing this as well. But the cheapest place to get a replacement belt by far is off of Amazon.com. This replacement belt right here only runs about 20 bucks, and if you have Amazon Prime, that's free day or 2-day shipping, and it's only 20 bucks. You go to your local lawnmower store, they're gonna hit you over the head for like 50 bucks. So save yourself some money. Click on the link below in the description. It's linked up below in the description, so you can buy this belt if you got a Cub Cadet that is of one of the models listed in the description below, and save yourself some money. And then I'm going to show you how to DIY this and do it yourself and save you a ton more money. Because if you were going to take this to the shop, if I personally was a lawnmower mechanic, I'd charge at least 300 bucks to do this job, maybe even more. 300 would be if I liked the person. You know, obviously I wouldn't charge somebody more just because, you know, I like them or don't, but I mean, $300 would be, I'd have to like you too. So yeah, definitely not an easy job, but I'm going to show you how to do it. So the first thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to take out your battery. So take off each one of your battery cables that go to the battery, since we're going to remove the whole battery, since there's some bolts that make that belt not come off the pulley that we're going to have to take out. And then right here, if you guys can hopefully see this bracket, that's what holds in the whole battery. And there's a bolt down there that is a 3/8, I believe. Yeah, 3/8. And we're going to take that out to take off this bracket and then remove our whole battery so we can get to these bolts down here. So we'll go ahead and get started. I took out these two bolts, and it's the same for both sides. So I already went ahead and did this side if you're standing in the rear of the mower, which would be the right side. Basically what those bolts do is, I'm not sure if you can see that belt down there, but they go down and they hold on the belt so it allows the belt to not come off. And they go right down there like that, and they thread right into the frame. And then it has this part right here that allows, you know, to keep the belt on the pulley and not come off. And it's going to be the same for both sides. As you can see, there is a bolt right down here, and then the other one is like right behind the frame deal that the seat sits on, and is a real pain to get out. It's not very easy to take out. They definitely try and make it you know, pretty difficult. So we'll go ahead and show you, take out this one, and this is the easy one. Like I said, there's 4 of them, 2 on each side. I already got out 2, and then this will be the 3rd one I'm taking out. So there's that one out, and then like I said, the next one is right behind there. And if we go underneath the mower, just so you can get an idea about what I'm talking about. As you can see, tilt my camera, as you can see, the bolts that were taken out, there's the last one right there. And that keeps that belt from, you know, from slipping off the pulley. and we got to take those out to get off the belt and replace it, or to route in our new belt. Those have to be off and taken out. So take out the last one here that, like I said, is behind this frame deal, like right behind it, and that was why we had to take out the battery, if you were wondering, to get to these behind here. Alrighty, just to show you how slow going these two pain in the neck ones are to get out behind the triangle frame support. Look at how little I'm able to move the wrench in order to turn those. Just a little bit at a time. It's slow going, and it just came off the bolt. Great. Alrighty, so now I got all 4 of those bolts out. So I'll show you guys how to jack up the mower with one of these lawnmower lifts. If you need a lawnmower lift, click below in the description. They are super handy for doing certain things on your mower, and when you need it, it works great. And some of the things are dang near 10 times harder without one of these lifts. As you can see, there's like no space underneath there and you can't see anything. But another trick also to get your mower on the lift, pull out on that right there and that right there, those pins in the back, and then your mower will roll. It'll basically like put it in neutral. So then you can roll it onto the lift. If for some reason your mower won't drive or something, or I don't know, the battery's dead or whatever, that'll allow you to push the mower. So the next thing you're going to want to do, and if you have a spring puller, it'll make this a little bit easier. If not, that's all right. You can either use a pair of pliers or just a fairly large flathead screwdriver. And we're going to go ahead and take off this spring right here, since this belt, the belt that drives our blades to cut the grass on the mower deck, and that's going to be your bottom belt, is just going to have to get loosened up. It doesn't have to come all the way off though. We just got to pull it around that back pulley. So you're going to want to take note of how this belt is routed. And also, if, you know, it does come off or, you know, kind of get out of sorts, if you look underneath the seat, it shows you how the belt that spins the blades is routed. And it's not routed very complicated. It's not very, you know, complicated routing on this mower. So what you're going to want to do is, as you can see, I got my flathead on the spring like this, and then we're going to pull it towards us and then let back out gently. And now that we got that spring off, we can go ahead and come back here and now just take it off just like that, just off the back pulley, leave everything else hooked up on that. Then the next thing that we're going to want to do is for our clutch deal right here. I believe that this is bigger than a half, but nope, it is a 1/2 inch. So we'll go ahead and take off this extension, and what we're going to be taking off next is this deal that holds the belt on track on this you know, main drive pulley where it goes around the clutch. And something else to note when you're taking off this deal right here, we're gonna have to take off, just unplug this plug right here and that is very important. You don't want to damage these wires or that plug, because that obviously goes to your clutch. So you want to be careful with that. And this just has one bolt that holds on this deal, and then that'll come out. But we're gonna have to take off the plug first. But once we get this bracket deal off, then this thing will move, as you'll be able to see in a second. See the way that now spins, and then be careful with that deal. And you can even get a flathead screwdriver. If I can, oh, it's in my hand. Don't you love it when that happens? Alrighty. So I'll get my camera secure here. And then there's just this top plug that holds that on. And then we'll just shoot. Wiggle that and take off that plug that the two wires go to, and then this deal will pull out, and you can even go ahead and thread back in that bolt just so you don't lose it. Never a bad idea. Then we got another spring right there that we're gonna have to take off, and I'm gonna show you a trick that'll make that spring way easier to get off. So what you're gonna want to do is, I don't know if you're familiar with like the cruise control or the parking brake. I already actually did it, but if we go ahead and pull up on that, for our forward, our forward pedal, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to push all the way down on your forward pedal, and then go ahead and push down on this parking brake thing. That also, I don't know if you guys know this, but if you've messed with it, it's also kind of like a cruise control thing. So it'll lock that pedal in place, and that'll make that spring way easier to get off. And if you can see, let me get my flashlight here, where that spring goes to this deal right here. We're going to use the same method as we did before with the screwdriver. If you got a spring puller, that's great. If I can get my stupid camera set up here. If not, you can use the method that I'm about to show you. Like we did on the other spring. This spring's a little bit tighter though, so. As you can see, we got that spring off of there, and actually what I did is did the old pry trick, put it up there, pried it off. That's not a real easy thing to get off. Now, the next thing that we're gonna have to do is actually take off this pulley completely, and that's held in by the bolt right in the middle. And then We're also, I believe, gonna have to take out this bolt or that nut, and then we're gonna have to put a wrench on the top to hold it. So I believe this is a 1/2 inch also, which it is not. It's gonna be the next size up in your socket set. And it's gonna be a 9/16, guys. A 9/16. So we'll go ahead and so after you get out that pulley, go ahead and put the bolt back in it, since there's a couple different things there, and just go ahead and set it on the ground. So you put everything in, right back in the right order, if that makes sense. So now that we got that off, we can go ahead and take off our old belt, or what you can do is start putting on your new belt if your belt completely broke. So for these up here, to get the belt off the front pulleys, and there's one on each side, it's a pretty tight fit. So we actually got to push it up like that, up and over the pulley. So it's got to go not down, but it's got to go up and over. So we'll do the one on the other side. If you're standing on the rear of the mower, or standing at the rear of the mower, this is going to be the right side. And what we're going to want to do is go ahead and push that up and over. Then which I was telling you, as I told you, we got to take out that bolt or that nut right there, and that bolt, the top of it's right there, so you're actually going to need a wrench. Also, if you're doing it alone, you can do this alone. You just have to put, get my light, you just have to put your wrench on it and then wait for it to go up against the motor. So get it as close on to by the motor as you can, and then it'll hit up against the motor. So as you guys can see, I got a little bit longer ratchet just to give me some more leverage, or you can use like a breaker bar, or even just put a piece of pipe around your ratchet to just give yourself more leverage, because this thing is pretty tight. That'll do the trick. Alrighty, so now that we got off that nut, and then there's a washer on there too. Now the old belt will come completely out, or you're ready to put in your new belt. Now as you can see, it's wrapped around there. So now we got our old belt off. We're ready to put on our new belt that you're going to want to get off of Amazon.com, linked up in the description below. Shameless plug. So what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to route it around all this crap. I would suggest go ahead and put it on the back pulleys first. So get it, remember, up and over. So then once you get it pretty tight fit up and over, then you can actually put it into the pulleys so it sits right in the pulley. You want to do this on either side, on the front two pulleys that are on the right and the left. And of course, alrighty, so there we go. So we'll let the mower down off the jack. Again, if you need a mower jack, click in the description below. So we want to take off the locks. It's always important to set those. Take off the safety locks. Then we can go ahead and let her down slowly. I mean, see how hard this thing would be to work on if you didn't have this lift? Oh my gosh, it makes life so much easier with one of these lawnmower lifts. And you can obviously also lift it up from the front as well, just depending on what you're doing on the mower. Alrighty, so we'll go ahead and start her up so I can show you guys that it works. So if you still have that cruise control lock thing on to make the spring easier to get on, just go ahead and push in on the pedal to release it, and then we can go ahead and start her up. Turn on the choke. In this small space, it's fast, it's quick. It's burning rubber now, boys. Jesus. Holy shit. God dang it, Bobby. Sorry, I got a little too high feet. but it clearly works. As you can see. Again, guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope this video helped you. If you need a belt, click in the description below. Go down to the description below and get that belt off of Amazon. Save yourself some money. And I would also recommend at the same time you change this belt, change your drive belt as well. Which I just did, and there is a video on my channel that I'll also link up in the description below on how to change that drive belt that basically is what powers the wheels when you go in forward and reverse, you know, and this belt is obviously what powers your blade. So again, guys, thanks so much for watching. Always love your feedback, positive or negative. Let me know what I did right. Let me know what I did wrong. Always love to hear from you guys. And yeah, the cat's giving me a meowful. So yeah, I know, cat. Please, we're gonna have a viral cat lawnmower video here, guys. Alrighty, so please subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. There's also some other videos on my channel about how to do some other things to these Cub Cadet mowers. So check it out. And until next time, peace.